longtime NFL quarterback. Chase Daniel joining us from the quarterback capital of the world. That's Del Mar. Drew Brees, Matthew Stafford, Carson Palmer. Anybody else who lives in Del Mar, Chase?
I'm sure there's a little bit more here, but Steve Mariucci is down the block from us too. So it's a nice place to be right now. It's 72 and sunny every single day, so I can't beat it.
All right, help me understand this. First of all, you're in between jobs right now. So how does that work? That you wait for a call, or can you work out for a team? What's the process?
I mean, listen, I'm just finished 14 years, going on 15, and to be
Wow.
completely honest with you, right now, I'm pretty good right now. Just hanging out with the kids, being a dad, not having to go to training camp, sleep in the dorms, have a 15-hour a day schedule. But I think I'm past the part in my career where I got to work out for someone. Played really well last year in the preseason, and I'm just waiting for an opportunity. And if it doesn't come, then we'll see what else happens. But I'm just excited to continue to talk NFL football and college football. And I did some broadcasting stuff last year, so that was fun. But yeah, it's just a wait and see game right now. There's got to be some injuries that happen, I'm sure.
At what point in your career do you embrace being a backup quarterback? That you have to buy into that role, and that can be difficult because when you came out of Missouri, you probably thought I want to be a starting quarterback.
Yeah, there's no doubt. I mean, that's something I've wrestled with my entire career, and I told myself from an early age in this league, especially when I was learning behind Drew in New Orleans, was that, hey, listen, I'm going to play as long as I can, as long as they want me, till they get me off the train, because the train just keeps moving, everyone gets off. But the one thing that I told myself was, if I'm playing and I'm just okay being a backup, then I'm never going to play anymore. So I would say even last year, like, you have that itch. It's just like, that's maybe me. That's maybe how I was raised. That's maybe how I was brought up. But I think in this league, to make it, 14 years, which is a blessing, like, thank God for that. You have to have that mentality of every single day you walk into the building, every single day you go out into the football field, practice field. Preseason games are huge. I mean, I treat the preseason games, even in year 14, like they're playoff games, because that's how you get the film out. That's how you get the film out to all 31 other teams, and you're constantly competing. So I'm still at that phase right now. Like, I love to compete. I've never once really phoned it in like, hey, I'm just okay being a backup, because the second you do that, guess what? The third string or the guy in college, or there's always someone behind you that wants to take your job. And I've never really done that before. I've never looked behind me. I've always looked in front of me. I've always tried to push the starter for some playing time. And for me, it's sort of like, it's a weird situation. Like, not a lot of injuries, right? In 14 years, like, that's sort of how backups get on the field. Not a lot of injuries have happened. I haven't really gotten a ton of chances. And when I had them in the middle of my career, I thought I played pretty well.
What is your favorite memory?
Oh my gosh. Wow. I mean, you're 14 years in the league. I mean, honestly, if I could go back and do it, I mean, this is the easy one to say, but in 2009, I was a rookie. I was a third string quarterback behind Drew and Mark Brunell, which is a blast from the past. So winning a Super Bowl with those guys my rookie year, I mean, it's obviously the tops, but like, I thought it was so easy. Like, I'm like, after we won, I'm like, oh my gosh, like, we started 13-0, if you remember that year, and then lost 3 straight, and then went on a tear in the playoffs. Garrett Hartley kicked us, to the Super Bowl and against Minnesota. But I was just like, I remember that offseason, I was like, this is so easy. And then put in perspective, 14 years later, I've been on. It's unbelievable, because I've been on some of the worst playoff losses of all time. You look at even last year, right? It's the highest comeback in the NFL history. We were on the Chargers. We lost that game. It was the most, you look at the Minnesota Miracle. I was on the other sideline for that. I was with the Saints. Okay. I mean, you go on and on. The Andrew Luck Kansas City Chiefs game, when he fumbled, we were up 35-7 at halftime. 28-point comeback. They beat us. That's the fumble, him reaching over the game, if you guys remember. So it's been a tough road, because you really just look back on those years and you realize, man, there's actually like a good bit of luck involved. And the ball has to bounce your way. You have to get certain calls from refs. So it's been quite a run. I mean, there's some really good stories stored up in this memory of mine.
He's Chase Daniel. He's a free agent quarterback. How many teams have you played for?
6, I think. I had 2 stints with the Saints, so we'll say 6.
Do you have jerseys of all the teams?
I do. Yeah. We have, we just built a house out here a couple years ago, and we have a little bitty space that my wife said I could put some jerseys up. Obviously, like, this is my office. You don't see any jerseys in this office, right? But we have a game room, and I'm telling you, it's like, how are we going to fit like 6 jerseys in this small, but we made it work. Have a ton of jerseys from other guys throughout the league in my garage. So that's what I was relegated to, my garage as the man cave.
You were with the Chargers last year. Your reaction to Justin Herbert getting that contract yesterday?
I mean, listen, it's awesome because, and I sent out a video yesterday of just how proud I was of him, because it's hard to understand, obviously, if you're not in the room, but everyone knows about the physical attributes, what he's done the first 3 years. That's been well talked about. But, what's interesting to me is when I got there in 2021, he had just won, Rookie of the Year after the 2020 season. Everyone knows how that started with Tyrod Taylor's ribs getting punctured. And so he got his opportunity. Man, did he ever roll with it? Probably one of the, if not the best rookie quarterback seasons, numbers-wise, of all time. And so I'm looking at it, I'm like, man, I get to work with the Rookie of the Year. This is awesome. And the first day I come in, he's just saying, hey, like I followed your career, from Missouri. Like I know you were with Drew. Like, what did he do? I knew you were with Alex Smith. What did he do? What can I learn from other quarterbacks? And I'm just like, that really hit me. That just tells you a little bit about who he is and what he does and how he, portrays this game and how he takes the game so seriously. And just like a good old guy, like, yes, sir, no, sir, super coachable. The physical tools, I mean, you see some throws in practice that is just like, I mean, there's just not many people, if anyone in the world, that can make these throws. And so it was an honor and a privilege for those 2 years getting to back him up. But we have a really tight relationship, and he's still pretty young. And he texts me in the offseason, hey, what are you thinking about this? And so, it's still a really good relationship there.
But then you have Austin Ekeler, who can't get paid.
$6.25 million is the biggest bargain in the National Football League right here. 40 touchdowns over the last 2 years. Not only that, but like what he means to the locker room, and he couldn't get it. I mean, I love dude, it was so fun. I started cracking up laughing when you said the Derrick Henry stat. We made the same amount of money, and I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, oh, that's cool, but like, man, like what is wrong with the running back position? And it just goes to show you that NFL franchises, I mean, honestly, they don't value the position like they used to. I mean, you look at the Chiefs last year, they had a couple decent receivers, a 7th round running back, and they won the Super Bowl because they have a really good quarterback. And the run game is okay, and you can find a good running back out there, like a really good running back for $3 to $4 million, and build yourself everywhere with the left tackle salaries going up. You saw Solomon Thomas today. I mean, everyone, it's insane. And then you got to pay the defensive ends. I mean, the Chargers have 3 or 4 guys over $30 million on cap hits this year. So teams just don't put it in the budget. And I just don't know if there's a way back from it. I mean, I don't know what you can do to say, hey, listen, unless all 32 starters say, I'm not showing up next year until we figure out a side agreement with the NFLPA. Because I was on the NFLPA side, and we've talked about it at least. Like how, and it's just like, other than punter and long snapper, it comes in at running back as the least amount of growth and value since like 2 or 3 CBAs ago. It's insane. It's unbelievable.
But Chase, what if I suggested this? We allowed running backs to come out after their sophomore year in college, or you could sign, your running backs got 3-year contracts when they came into the league. If you're a first-round draft pick, it's a 3-year contract. What do you think?
I mean, the shelf life still on running backs is 1 contract, and you're going to get to a second, but it's very rarely you get to a second, and like impossible you get to a third. So that shortens their career by, instead of 4-year contracts, you have 3 or 5-year contract, with first round running backs. But to me, it just doesn't make, I don't think that helps, because at the end of the day, teams are going to value what they value. You are worth what a team is willing to pay. And that's your value at the end of the day. So at the end of the day, if teams don't pony up, and if major name running backs, Nick Chubb, Saquon Barkley, Austin Ekeler, Tony Pollard, everyone in the Derrick Henry, if they don't come together, I know they had a Zoom, and that's great and all. That's not gonna make change. That's not gonna make change. It starts with the NFL and the FLPA, and the owners are laughing to the bank with this, because they had really good value at a 1 or 2 year deal with not a lot of guarantee.
Well, but look at Melvin Gordon. Because of what he was asking for, Austin Ekeler was able to come in and take his job. And
yeah,
I mean, it's like you're eating your own.
I mean, that's the biggest problem we've dealt with in the NFLPA in general is with these rise in rookie contracts. Is okay, that's great, you're rising in rookie contracts, but these middle level guys, these 4 or 5, 6 year guys that are just as good as these rookies, they're making $1.5 million, $1.2 million, or whatever it is, league minimum. These rookies are making, $650,000, $700,000. That's almost another player.
Yeah.
If you cut a guy, this rookie's just not quite as good, but you look at this 5-year guy, he's too expensive. I mean, that's how running backs are, and that's what teams are saying. We just need a guy who can carry the ball 100 to 150 times, and by the way, we're going to split the carries up. Because it's a pass-happy league unless you're the Ravens or the Eagles, right? And those guys are doing just fine with it. So it's an interesting conundrum that we're facing, that the running back market is facing in general. But I think for the good of the game, you got to figure out something.
Before I let you go, I think there are 4 other quarterbacks in history who have more pass attempts in the preseason than you. Is that right, Paulie?
Yeah, we did a deep dive of to see Chase Daniel's an all-time preseason guy. He's got 500 career attempts in the preseason.
Okay.
And a quarterback rating of 92.5.
Okay. All right. So do you know?
There you go.
So if there's ever a Hall of Fame for preseason, 500
can
more.
We get that started?
We can try to do that.
I mean, come on, guys.
Okay. Who's in front of you? Who are the 4 quarterbacks preseason pass attempts more than you?
Brian Hoyer?
Nope.
What year? That's crazy. More attempts than me. I mean, they got to play a long time.
Yeah.
And they got to be a backup.
They're all retired.
Oh my gosh. I don't know. Who are they?
All right. Give him, Paulie.
I got Billy Volek over 500. Luke McCown over 500 attempts.
That's right. Luke, I was with him in New Orleans. Of course, he was there for 4 years. They don't play Drew. They didn't play Drew.
Who else, Paulie?
Sage Rosenfels has 549 career attempts.
Wow.
Can anyone guess
the highest?
No. Okay, here's what I have. Highest. Going back 25 years, the most preseason attempts of any quarterback.
Give me a hint.
We have him on the show regularly. Probably 3 times.
Sean Salisbury.
Nope.
That would have been awesome, though.
He lives 20 minutes from our studio.
Ryan Leaf.
Chris Sims?
Dan Orlovsky, 591 career attempts.
Dan Orlovsky played. I mean, dude, that's amazing. So I just need 92 more attempts, and then I have the all-time record. Then we can start a Hall of Fame backup quarterback.
Is that feeding the fire to call off retirement?
Well, I never said about retirement, but I mean, if we're starting a preseason Hall of Fame and I have a chance to be the number 1 pass attempts guy.
I want to hear this conversation, Chase, with your wife. Yeah. I want to know what that's saying. Honey, come here.
She has to take care of the 3 kids, so I don't know if that's going to happen. But I bet I could get 92 in 3 games. Just, coach, let me play the whole game. Call it 35 times every game. We got this. You don't need to play anyone else. You don't need to evaluate anyone else.
Orlovsky's getting nervous,
Oh, my gosh.
His legacy.
Dan Orlovsky, huh? That's crazy.
But see, he ran out of the end zone. Like, he has a play that we at least remember, Chase.
Yeah, I didn't do anything dumb like that. I mean, I love the guy. I love the guy, but man, like that, and the amount of grief he still gets for it. I know. Like, we all make mistakes, but I'm glad I didn't do anything like that.
Good luck with whatever's coming next, whether you're an analyst or you get a job there. But good to talk to you, Hank. Thank you for having a good sense of humor.
All right, guys. Appreciate y'all.
That's Chase Daniel, free agent quarterback, won a Super Bowl his first year with the Saints.
He's fun.
Thank you, Todd.
You're welcome.
All right.